just received Wave 5 from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Pass, which means we have just one more wave left, with Wave 6 coming later this year, which will finally end the Booster Pass. After 2 years full of DLC content from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it looks like Mario Kart 8 might finally be done. Now, what's so interesting is, man, a lot of people are going to be sad about this, but a lot of people are probably going to be happy to finally move forward, because we've been playing Mario Kart 8 since 2014 if you had a Nintendo Wii U, which is insane. And it's insane to see how far we've come from only having 8 cups in the original version before DLC was even a thing. That's insane. We had DLC for the Wii U, and then we had DLC for the Switch. It's just crazy how this game continues to live on and sell so well. But of course, with all that in mind, I still had to think, what are the chances that Nintendo says, you know what, scratch that, we're still on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for another 2 years, here's another booster pass, or maybe even adding more waves. Is this a possibility? Well, today I'm going to try to describe if this could even happen or not. Before we get started, stop what you're doing, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart and Nintendo in general, as a lot of you guys watching this video right now are not yet subscribed. We are trying to reach to 250,000 subscribers, and we are so close. So let's see how many we can get to subscribe from this video alone. But thank you so much. Let's jump into the video. Last week I made a video talking about every single track that is not currently in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I went through every single game and picked out every single track that we have not seen in this game yet, which gave us a total of 62 tracks left. Now, of course, we still have another wave with 8 tracks in that wave. We know by the end of this entire thing, we're gonna have around 54 tracks remaining that are just currently floating in thin air right now. We know currently we're going to have 48 brand new tracks / returning tracks within this booster pass entirely, 6 times 8, which means we will only have 6 tracks remaining and only 6 left out at the end of another wave if they did this again. But the question is this a realistic thing that Nintendo would do? Would Nintendo actually charge another $25 for another 48 tracks? Well, it could happen. I broke that number down based on each game and what we would have left after Wave 6 releases. We'll have 4 SNES, 10 64, 9 Game Boy Advance, 8 GameCube, 9 DS, 5/6 Wii, that one's a difficult one. We don't know what that last track could be. It could be Rainbow Road from Wii, or it might not even be any more Wii tracks. We still don't know based on that data mine. And then 9 from Mario Kart 7. And the best part is they don't even need to have any more Tour City tracks, which they don't anyways, but it would still be awesome because now we can finally have nothing but classic tracks, which I think a lot of people rather have. But the craziest part about this whole thing, which gives me some hope for this, is that 30 out of those 54 tracks are currently in Mario Kart Tour. Yes, Mario Kart Tour has 30 of those tracks right now in game, where there's lots of classic tracks either revamped, remade, or just ported over from classic games. And it's just like Nintendo wouldn't even have to do a lot of work for some of these. Just port them straight over like they've pretty much been doing so far. And lots of these are fan favorite ones. There's lots of Bowser Castles and Rainbow Roads, and we have things like Dino Jungle, Mushroom Bridge, even Luigi's Mansion from DS, DK Pass, Airship Fortress. That's just some of them. There's so many tracks that they could just throw over from Tour into Mario Kart 8. Now also, we have to remember some of these could very well just be coming into Wave 6, so that could decrease this list a lot. But still, 30 tracks right now currently sitting that's not in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is pretty insane. The reason why I think that's so possible is just the fact that there are lots of old tracks. This could be more of a classic booster pass, which I would be completely fine with, just getting lots of just classic tracks instead of worrying about new Nitro tracks and also city tracks, which they're great and all, but at the same time, there are some very, very fan favorite tracks such as Airship Fortress that needs to be in this booster pass. So I think Nintendo definitely would have a lot of great tracks and a lot of cool classic throwbacks that they could bring into this game, and they already have the assets in Tour. Yes, this sounds like a good idea, but why would this not happen? Well, I know. It's selling like hotcakes. It has been going on since 2014. What's stopping Nintendo now? Well, the next console. Unfortunately, I think it would just be a very poor decision to keep pumping out DLC for this game, especially considering the fact that we are getting very close to the very next version of the Switch, or whatever this next console is going to be, which is probably going to include a new Mario Kart. And it feels like that was the whole purpose of this DLC in the first place, to give us some things to play and carry us over until that new Mario Kart is completed, whether it is a Mario Kart or a Nintendo Kart or something bigger and fancier, whatever Nintendo's planning. I think this was just their way to get us filled, because let's be honest, they didn't need 2 years to give us tracks that already exist in games such as Tour, which the models literally were just ripped from and not even enhanced that greatly. So I think the 2 years was just for them to stretch this out and to give us something to do as we wait and as they produce this next Mario Kart game for this next console. Now, we didn't even get to talk about characters, because it looks like we're going to get about 6 total within this current booster pass, which means we still have a lot of characters to fill up a second one as well. We still haven't gotten Pauline, Nabbit, Captain Toad, Hammer Bros, which includes different alts for Fire Bro, Boomerang Bro, all of them, Ice Bro, Charging Chuck, DK Jr., King Bob-omb, Monty Mole, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Dixie Kong, all those characters are in Mario Kart Tour, and let's face it, we'll probably be getting Pauline and probably like Diddy or Funky within the current wave, so that's still a lot of characters left. It's still leaving out characters like the Honey Queen from Mario Kart 7, Rob from Mario Kart DS, and even, yes, Peachette from Mario Kart Tour. So that gives Nintendo like 14 other characters they could add from the past games for just 6 more slots, which is a lot of characters to go through. So yeah, Nintendo has a lot of options here. It's not like they're going to be fighting for content if they wanted to do another booster pass. They would have a lot on the table. Well, it just comes back down to the fact of, is Nintendo going to do this again? And personally, I think no. I think there could be possibilities for some extra waves eventually, but as far as a whole nother booster pass, probably not likely. I just don't see it happening, considering the fact that Nintendo needs to move forward. They need to see what's next for Mario Kart. They need to push another game. Even as successful as this one is, the next one is going to be monumental, because they've already built up this awesome fan base full of people who love Mario Kart, from returning veterans from back in the day, to people just starting to get their feet wet with the series. Mario Kart 8 has done a lot, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has done even more. This game will continue to live on for sure, but it's definitely time for Nintendo to probably move on and look forward, especially if they have a new console coming out. And I think Nintendo just doesn't like to keep DLC going past 1 pack. I don't really remember ever Nintendo adding an extra pack or something like that after they've already announced something. For instance, everyone was holding out for more DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and clearly that didn't happen. We actually finished when Sakurai said we would finish. It's because we have to move on. We can't just continue to stick with the same game forever, even though there is still a lot of content that Nintendo could add to this game. Plus, I think Nintendo still wants to make it the fact that we can go back to these past Mario Kart games and play these tracks if we want. It would kind of ruin the experience to all these past Mario Karts, you know? It'd give us no reason to ever go back and revisit some of these games, which, yes, some of them are hard to revisit, like Mario Kart Double Dash, as you have to fork over like over $100 for a copy of that game now, or you can just, you know, download an emulator. But with that said, yeah, it would ruin the experience for some of the past Mario Kart games, and I see why they're stuffing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe full of Mario Kart Tour tracks, because eventually Mario Kart Tour is going to be gone. It's going to be shut down, and the service is going to be lost forever, and those tracks need to be saved somewhere. So at least you can go back to all these past Mario Kart games and revisit some of these tracks, as a lot of these tracks from the older games actually came back in future installments, so we can go back and check these out with past Mario Kart games, which is always a good thing. You know, we want a reason to go back and play those games, right? But yes, what do you guys think? I'll leave it up to you. Do you think Nintendo's going to add another wave or a couple of waves? Or are they going to add an entirely new booster pass? Or are they done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? If they did add more waves and tracks, what would you like to see? And what characters would you like to see added within those waves as well? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for tuning in. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.